Hello, and welcome to the Medically Empowered Moms podcast. I am your host, Karina Hogan. I am a special needs coach where I help divorced special needs moms like yourself navigate the challenges with caring for your newly diagnosed medically complex child. I help you to empower yourself to create an aligned life with a healthy mindset, prioritize yourself, build your confidence 2.0 style, and implement simple strategies for effective communication and healthy boundaries. I am a special needs mom myself, and I am here to tell you that you can parent how you like, and your child's goals have no timeline. So let's get into it. Hello, wonderful mamas. Welcome back to the podcast. So in today's episode, I want to discuss autopilot mindset. Now you're probably sitting there listening and wondering, the hell does she mean by autopilot? So what I mean by autopilot mindset is it's the mindset that we as special needs moms kind of bring ourselves into when we're putting life back together after divorce, after your child's diagnosis, just after all those things and you have processed everything, and all of a sudden you are just on autopilot with all your needs of your child, appointments, work, school, therapies, all the things. And you know what you're forgetting? You. So you have this autopilot mindset where you get up every day, you have a routine, the kids have a routine, and then you come home, there's a routine, work is a routine, and then you go to sleep, and then you feel like you have nothing to show for your life. So that's what I mean by autopilot. You're putting everybody else's needs, all the other things that have to be done without prioritizing yourself. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. Do you really think that if you put yourself last, your child is going to thrive? I know I may get some controversy on that because I know I've asked this question before and I've gotten a mixed response. I can tell you as a special needs mom myself, going through what I've gone through with divorce, co-parenting, 2 special needs children with 2 different diagnoses, autopilot was just something that I just did. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about myself. I didn't give a shit about myself, really. And I let a lot of things lag. I didn't have relationships with anybody else. I felt alone. I didn't feel, included. There were so many freaking feelings that I had that depression, fear, anxiety just set in because I was in this autopilot mindset and I was drowning. I was desperately seeking help, but I didn't want to ask for help because when I did, I got shamed. So I said, well, why am I going to ask for help if you're just going to make me feel bad about myself and bad because I have children who require more needs than the average child? And mind you, children, whether they're special needs or not, have needs. And 9 times out of 10, they're almost identically the same, except when we have medically complex children, their needs tend to be a little bit different and unique versus a regular child. But they still have the same needs if you really look at it. So it's just in a different perspective. So this autopilot mindset that we as special needs moms get accustomed to, our health suffers, our mental health suffers, relationships with people suffer. If you're romantically involved with somebody, it suffers. Everything suffers. The relationship with your children suffer. And I can tell you that if you continue this autopilot mindset, it's not going to get you anywhere. Your children are not going to be happy. And whether they're verbal or not, children sense when you are stressed, when you are depressed, when you are angry. They know that shit because they just feel it. And we as moms have to do what we can to get ourselves out of that negative mindset and out of that autopilot mindset, because that shit don't work for you. Mama, it does not. You have to take a step back and say, okay, how am I going to make sure that I'm more in a positive mindset? What kind of strategy do I need to have a more positive mindset? Well, I can tell you one simple strategy: journaling. It's the easiest way to get those thoughts out. Voice memos on your phone. If you're not up to writing, you could just talk. Me, I'm a talker. I love podcasts. I love listening to them, and I love creating them. So I can just talk. It's a perfect outlet for me. If there's a support group that you can trust, talk to them. Ask for help. Don't be ashamed, and don't feel like there aren't people out there that can't help you, because yes, they can. There is just a community that we have, that we all empower everybody, and we come together. I want you to remember that. But you sticking in this autopilot mindset is not going to help you. It's not going to help your children. And frankly, you're going to just downward spiral. And if you go far enough, you're never going to come back. So I don't want you to do this. I want you to do something that can just change your mindset every single day for at least 5 to 10 minutes, whether it's a podcast, reading a book, journaling, voice memo, whatever the case may be, whatever works for you and makes you feel good. Taking a walk, whatever the case may be. And I want you to try some of these strategies, and hopefully it'll help you. So I hope all these strategies that I gave you were a good takeaway on this episode. And as this podcast progresses, I'm going to give you even more strategies and more things that I can help you with navigating this journey as a special needs mom. You know, having medically complex kids is not a freaking easy road. It's going to be fucked up. You're going to get angry, and you're probably going to cry a lot. And I know I did, because I had those same feelings. But I'm here to tell you it's okay. Cry if you need to. Be angry if you need to. And then come back when you've processed those feelings and say, all right, let's take the bull by the horns, because we're going to make shit happen. And that's the attitude I want you to have. So I hope this episode was super helpful for you. And like I said before, in any of the other episodes, if you have any questions, you want to email me, DM me, head on over to Instagram, send me an email. Everything is going to be listed on the show notes so that you can contact me. And I would love to hear from you and hear your story. So thank you for listening to this episode, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening and joining me on this podcast. If you would like to share your story or have any questions, please reach out to me via email at thecoparentingmama.com. Head on over to Instagram, shoot me a DM at karina.hogan. Let's chat and get to know each other. My DMs are always open, and I'm here to listen and support you. Remember, mamas, thriving moms equals thriving kids. Healthy parenting starts with you. Thank you for listening.